Hello everyone. So in this video, today's video, we are going to study about the fundamental unit of life. This is of class 9th, chapter 5. And in this chapter, we are going to study about the cells. Okay. You might have studied about cells in junior classes, maybe of class 6 or maybe of class 7th. And it is very important topic. Again, you will study in class 11th, or if you go on study bio in the higher classes, you will be keep studying about this chapter because it is so important. And it is so important, that is why we are calling it fundamental. What is fundamental? That basic, that smallest thing which is most basic. Okay, the most basic. When we say the fundamental rights, that is the mere basic right. अब आपको कुछ और हो रहा है नहीं, आपको कुछ और मिल रहा है नहीं मिल रहा है, ये तो मिलना ही है. इफ यू आर born in India, you will get these basic rights. You can speak anything. मतलब ऐसा नहीं है that is you are talking your by your speech you are putting the country on problem. That is not there. But then generally you can speak, you can discuss on any topic, you can get your food, you can have education, you can have there are many things which you are studying in class 9. So those are the fundamental right. The higher rights you achieve as you get some post, or you get some education, or you got some sort of business, or etc etc. But these are the basic rights. So like that, here the fundamental stand for that basic thing which you have to have in any all the living beings. सबके अंदर ये तो होना ही चाहिए. और क्या है यूनिट का मतलब क्या होता है? द टर्म यूनिट स्टैंड फॉर वन. That is, we are looking for that one basic thing which is important to life. Hence the statement stands that one, the fundamental unit of life stand for one basic thing which is important to life, without which life is not possible. Or rather, the smallest unit of life, living beings, which independently show the characteristics of living beings. Most smallest thing, that smallest thing which can independently show the characteristic of life. Let us see what is actually it mean. So let us see about the discovery of the cell. So क्या हुआ? Anton von Leeuwenhoek was a Dutch cloth maker, cloth merchant rather. So what he used to do his business, कपड़े वगैरह बेचा करता था. Then what happened? Somehow he must have got some glass piece and he just rubbed it and gave it a shape, and it started magnifying things. So what happened? He fixed it on a stand and he made a sort of microscope. A few days he played with it. Then he said, मैं क्या करूँगा? अब businessman तो businessman, and since he was businessman, somebody approached to him. So he showed him, ये देख यार मैंने क्या बनाया, what I made. And that person, that is Robert Hooke, he shown interest. So he said, yeah, give it to me. I'm interested in buying. So he sold it to Robert Hooke. Okay. So he sold this microscope to Robert Hooke. Robert Hooke, what he did? What we usually do whenever we get anything, what we do? Suppose you bought a pen. Now, if you bought a pen and the pen is new to you, you would try to write something or something. Copy लेंगे, कुछ लिखेंगे. You will keep on trying to do something with it. Similarly, this person, that is the Robert Hooke, who also tried to do something. So he took his hair, put it on the microscope, saw how it looks, some thread, some paper piece, some leaf, something, whatever he had. First day, second day, he did that. All these things he has seen. Now he had a bottle there, and earlier time that bottle never had that cap like thing which we have got now, because the plastic was not discovered then. So all the bottles used to be sealed with cork. Cork is a bark of the stem. So the cork used to be fixed onto it so that the bottle used to be sealed. So now he had a cork. He said, yeah, let me see this, how it looks. So he cut the thin section of the cork and saw it under the microscope. Okay, in 1665, he observed a thin slice of cork under this microscope. खुरापात ना, हमारी आदत होती है ना, when we sit on a scooter, तो we'll just keep on doing something, pee pee, coo coo, something we'll be doing. If you got pen, the class 9 children, if you don't have a paper, you will try to write something on the desk only, or you will write on the hand. You will do some scribbling on the hand. on someone's shirts. Keep doing, children. Huh? Correct. So this person also, whatever possible thing he had around him, that all he's seen under the microscope. No wonder. Then he did what? He cut a thin slice of the cork and saw it under the microscope. And what he found, he found some cell-like structure. That is the honeycomb का जो cell होता है. So he coined the term cell for it, as it used to look like a honeycomb's chamber. This like, okay. ये तो उसका माइक्रोस्कोप था. This will be the microscope, and this structure used to see under the microscope. Okay. कोई यूनिफॉर्म टुकड़ा भी नहीं काटा उसने, टेढ़ा मेढ़ा जो भी. And he saw this, and because it used to look like honeycombs, those chamber-like structure, so they used to be called cell. तो उसने इसका नाम रख दिया cell. Cell means a small room. Okay, so he gave it a term cell. Nothing that he knew about it, or rather he has not even seen cell. What he saw was it is the structure which was made up of cell wall, which we know now. उसको तो कुछ पता ही नहीं था, ठीक है. But it gave a new direction to the science. Why? Because people before that never thought that the body is made up of some small unit like this. Body is made up of such a small unit. वो कॉर्क इतना छोटा यूनिट का बना है कि इतने से टुकड़े के अंदर thousands and thousands of such tiny things or chambers are there. So it amazed him, and thus a new direction people found for the discovery or to study. And that is how Robert Hooke, however, he has not seen cell. He just saw some dead cell wall, but we remember him. And कब करा इसने? In 1665. Anton is the whatever he saw and he did, he published in a book, and it has been circulated in his village. Anton von Leeuwenhoek, he got panic. I made microscope and I sold him, and he's become so famous. So he just asked him, give my microscope back. So Robert Hooke says, "Bhaiya, becha hua, that is the thing which is sold will not be given back." So he made another microscope, and then he saw first time living cells in 1674. He observed saliva, thoda nikala hoga. He observed water from the pond. There he saw some wingling structures. Before, people never thought कि पानी के अंदर कुछ होगा भी. They used to drink water from anywhere. He was the first time seen this type of structure. Have you studied about the Brownian movement? Brownian movement is the movement, the term he coined, because when he saw water, people used to think the water is still, water is not moving. But when he observed the water under his microscope, he saw that the thing is continually moving, and that is how he gave the term Brownian movement. And in this movement, there are a number of microscopic tiny organisms. So he saw first time some organism which were moving, which was showing some type of movement, maybe Chlamydomonas or maybe amoeba, whatever, because it was not so good microscope that he could see and he could give them name. But he found something winging, something moving. Then he also took a drop of blood and tried to see under his microscope. Nothing great he could see, because blood has to be smeared, which he could not. He never had even slide. He put some semen, again he found some mingling structure. So this is how we say that the Anton von Leeuwenhoek was the first person to see living cell. Robert Hooke saw only the dead cell walls in the cork, but he was the first to see living cell. And ये भाई इसका माइक्रोस्कोप थोड़ा अच्छा बढ़िया पॉलिश करके रखा है, ठीक है. It is a little better than the first microscope which है. Just to make arrangement of the light, he used to put a candle over here. तो एक कैंडल स्टैंड भी है इसके सामने, और he used to place the object over here, and कैंडल स्टैंड से लाइट उस पे मारता था. Yes, adjustment घुमा के फोकस करके he used to see the things. Okay. सबसे पहले ये तो हो गई अपनी बात डिस्कवरी की. Now size of the cell. Now the question is, why cells are so small? When the Robert Hooke saw it's such a tiny piece, he saw thousands and thousands of tiny cell-like structure. Now the question is, why cells are so microscopic, or what are the actual size of the cell? So since we measure in science everything, So why don't measure cell also? So often cells are microscopic, which are measured in micrometers. Micrometer कितना होता है? 1 millionth of a meter. 1 millionth of a meter. 1 million कितना होता है? 10 lakhs. Okay. So 1 meter को 10 lakhs से divide कर देते हैं. 1 divided by 1. 1 मीटर का इतना हिस्सा आपको दिख नहीं रहा होगा, मोटा कर देते हैं और यहाँ पे बनाते हैं 1 million. 1 million of 1 is 1 micrometer. Micrometer is also written by mu. Mu is a Greek language का m है ये, ठीक है. कई बार हमको we are writing only mu or sometimes we write mu meters, whatever it is. And 1 millionth of 1 is 10 raised to the power minus 6 of a meter. So 1 million, 1 micron is actually 10 millionth of a 1 millionth of a meter. So such a tiny structure, such a small units we have got, उसमें measure करेंगे. Of course, Robert Hooke microscope or the LEEUWENHOEK microscope was not so capable. It was not so capable कि इतना छोटा कुछ दिखा दे. But cells are so tiny structures. Cells are so tiny structures which are measured in this. ठीक है. Of course, not 1 micron, not 2 micron, but they are little more. देखते हैं क्या है size. 1 micrometer is 1 millionth part of a meter. Largest cell which is there, ostrich egg, which is about 15 centimeter, 18 centimeter, इतना बड़ा होता. अब now there is a confusion here. The size when we consider 15 centimeter, 18 centimeter, this is the correct. ठीक है, इतना बड़ा होगा. But when the egg is there in your hand, you cannot say this is one cell, because the day egg was laid by the ostrich, that day itself it had several hundreds of cells, because the first cell is formed when the egg and the sperm is fertilized. The moment it is fertilized, it is zygote, that is one single cell. But as the cell wall, the shell is formed, and then it come out of the body, it already have number of cells. The cells start dividing 1 to 2, 4, 8, 16, and number of cells will be there by the time it come out. But the size is same. So what when we are saying that this the one cell was also of this size, 400, 200,000 cell, size remains same, and that is why we say that size is same. But you cannot say simply that sir ये ostrich का आएगा इसके अंदर एक ही cell. It will have several hundreds of cells, because by the time it has come out, and by the time वो कोटा में आएगा, because we don't have ostrich here, तो you can imagine millions of cells it may have. ठीक है? Okay. Now longest animal cell is nerve cell, which may go up to a meter or further little more. Then longest plant cell is acetobacteria. ये भी काफी बड़ा हो जाता है. Smallest cells is pleuropneumonia like organism. Now imagine वो माइक्रोमीटर से भी छोटा हो गया. It is even 1/5 of a micrometer. So how small it is. ठीक है. So the cells can be such a tiny, but generally cells जो होते हैं which makes our body, they have size somewhere about 5 to 100 micrometers. ठीक है. So they are not so small. Shape क्या होगा cell का? What is the shape of the cell? So you know, whenever we make anything, so we make the things which is going to function, and उसके हिसाब से. Now suppose I to use this pen, तो pen तो ऐसा होना चाहिए. You cannot have this type of a pen. इससे कैसे लिखेंगे आप? So pen will be given this type of shape. When you have to store something, the box-like things, so they will have another shape. The spectacles have different shape. So shape is actually depending on the type of function it is going to perform. Similarly, the cells also have different shape on the basis of their function. Like round and oval shells of parenchyma, they are space filling cells. ठीक है, जहाँ जहाँ जगह बढ़ना है इनको रखेंगे. So parenchyma and collenchyma, even meristem, they are of this shape. ठीक है. Rectangular cells are of epidermis. Epidermis will have somewhere about rectangular cells. Okay. Then यहाँ पे size भी दे रखा है 20 micrometer. ठीक है. Biconvex कैसा? Which is biconvex, जैसे वो लेंस होता है like this. narrow at both the end and broad at mid. So biconvex cells are of RBC of other than mammals. अब mammals कौन होते हैं? जिनके hair होते हैं, जिनके कान होते हैं, जिनके mammary glands होते हैं, और those which can give birth to the young one. So they are more mammals. Their RBC is a biconvex. ठीक है? But RBC of mammals कैसे होंगे फिर? RBC of mammals are biconcave. देखिए ऐसी बीच में दबी हुई. Poppins की गोली देखिए. You have seen Poppins. So how they are rings? The edges are broad, but the thick, but the center is what you call narrow. Okay. So these are the shape biconcave in case of RBC of mammals. And mammals में भी camel होता है, उसका biconvex ही मिलता है. ठीक है. Cylindrical cell. ठीक है. Cylindrical. It's like cylindrical. And cylindrical shape कहाँ मिल रहा है? Striated muscles. ठीक है. There are many more, but we are taking one example. Now spindle shaped cell, वो जो अपन ने biconvex कहा था, biconvex is small. If we pull it and we make it a long, in which the cells are pointed or narrow at the edges and thick at the center, then we call it spindle shape, as in case of smooth muscles. Okay. Then irregular shape, जिसका कोई fix ही नहीं, ये cell, this cell, all the cells are of no fixed shape, but once the shape is obtained, that remains same. That is called bone cells. ठीक है. और slipper shape, paramecium, not fixed shape, keep on changing because of the pseudopodia formation, amoeba. ठीक है. Filamentous, धागे जैसा लंबा, nerve cell. Then polygonal cells, liver. Some are pentagonal, some are hexagonal, some are even more edges it will have. ठीक है. ओके. अब बात करते हैं, ये तो हो गया शेप एंड साइज. अब बात करते हैं, देखिए डिस्कवरी इज सी once a new direction is given, तो people keep thinking over it. Once Henry Ford made a car, it was just a basic car. कैसा था वो? साइकिल के 4 पहिए लगा दिए, कुछ ऐसा रिक्शे जैसा स्ट्रक्चर बना दिया, एंड it fixed one engine in it and some things, and then its car, mere basic. Now people said, यार ये this look like a car, बैठते तो धचका आता है. So then people started improving it, improvising, making new things. In his car even horn was not there. In his car लैंप की जगह पे 2 वो कैंडल स्टैंड लगे हुए थे, बिकॉज इलेक्ट्रिसिटी का उतना ज़्यादा यूज़ नहीं था. कार के अंदर कैसे लाएंगे पता नहीं था. स्लोली अदर कार्स जो है, इन ड्यू कोर्स ऑफ टाइम पीपल आर स्टार्टेड मेकिंग बेटर कार्स. ओके. इनिशियली द कार यूज्ड टू बी स्टार्टेड विथ हैंड, फिर मालूम पड़ा यार ये तो बैटरी लगा के भी कर सकते हैं. सो व्हेन पीपल once a thing is discovered, people keep on thinking over it and making it better. So Robert Hooke gave a direction. Leeuwenhoek saw first time living cell. Of 1831, first time nucleus was discovered. 1838, a German scientist which used to study plants, so botanist. In 1838, German scientist named as Matthias Schleiden. ये Schleiden क्या कर रहा है? He took the various parts of the plants, leaf, stem, roots, etc. This is the structure of the root. This is the structure of a stem. This is from leaf. Fruits भी काटे होंगे उसने. तो he cut the various parts of the plants and saw it under his microscope. By the time the microscope became little more developed, 1800, 1665, 1838, मतलब कितना 150 साल, 170 साल हो गए. तब तक तो चीजें बहुत अच्छी हो गई. So they could see the cells better. तो Matthias Schleiden क्या कह रहा है? He is saying that whether you take root, whether you take stem, whether you take fruit, whether you take leaf, any part of the plant, their body always made up of cells. ठीक है? So what he is saying that the body of all the parts of the plants are made up of cells. ये कब की बात है? 1838 की. Who is that? It's a German scientist. Botany plant पढ़ रहा है तो botanist. Very next year, थियोडोर श्वान है. थियोडोर श्वान ने कहा, अच्छा तूने प्लांट्स पढ़ लिया? हैव यू स्टडीड अबाउट प्लांट्स एंड यू हैव डिस्कस्ड, लेट मी सी द एनिमल्स. सो ही वेंट टू द बुचर शॉप. ही टुक द वेरियस पार्ट्स ऑफ द एनिमल्स, उसने हार्ट लिया, लंग लिया, मसल लिया, किडनी एंड मेनी अदर पार्ट्स, छोटे छोटे टुकड़ा लाया, and he cut them and saw it under the microscope, and to his surprise he also found that whether it takes skin or the blood or the bone or the muscle or the liver or the heart or the kidney or whichever part you take, they are also made up of small cells. So Theodore Schwann is saying that body of all the animals, no matter which part you are studying, they are also made up of cells. These two are very big statements. People before they were thinking ये जैसे balloon की जैसे हवा भर दो ऐसे बने हुए हैं, but later on they came to know that these all things are actually made of cell, and not only of cell, the products which are made up of cells. The blood is actually a fluid, and the fluid who makes? These are made by the cells. Okay, so bones, बीच में क्या है? Calcium and phosphate के salts है, solid structure. Who made this? Cells are made. So he is saying that body of all the animals are made up of cell and their products. दो साइंटिस्ट आ गए 1838 and 1839. एक और आया रुडोल्फ विर्कोव 1855. अब विर्कोव कह रहा है यार नया सेल कहां से आता है? Where is new cell come from? So he tried his level best. People in that time they used to think that life is originated its own. People used to think, अभी भी सोचते कई लोग, बालों में जुएं अपना आप बन जाती है, ठीक है, और खाना अपने आप से सड़ जाता है, फंगाई कम्स इट्स ओन, कोई अपने आप से कुछ नहीं आता है. 1855 में रुडोल्फ विर्कोव कह रहा है if a cell has to come, it has to always come from a pre-existing cell. You cannot make a cell and cell cannot come its own. क्या कह रहा है? He proposed that the cell always develop, or cell can develop. No cell can develop its own, but it always arises from a pre-existing cell. If you have a cell, you can get another cell. If you do not have a cell, you simply cannot mix hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus, etc., and you cannot make. Or you cannot simply take water and soil and Panch Tattva. We says that everything is made up of Panch Tattva. ठीक है? क्या है Panch Tattva? पृथ्वी, वायु, जल, नभ और आकाश, इन्हीं से बना हुआ है पंच तत्वों से. लेकिन सिंपली यू टेक स्मॉल पीसेस, थोड़ा आकाश में गए, थोड़ा सा बादल लिया है, थोड़ा सा लिया है, एंड मिक्स एंड यू कैन नॉट गेट सेल लाइक दैट. You cannot get it. It means that we cannot make cell just by mixing required substances. It has to come from a pre-existing cell. Okay. So देखिए कैसा आता है pre-existing cell. We have got one cell. The cell become big and they grow, and then it become double shaped, and then it divides into two. We'll study it in detail at the end of the chapter. Okay. So these 3 points become very important stepping stone. ठीक है, और इसके लिए हम इनको कहते हैं सेल थ्योरी. सो what we call it is a cell theory. तो सेल थ्योरी क्या है? What is cell theory? According to Schleiden and Schwann, the body of all the plants and animals are made up of cell and their products, and they are carrying out all the functions. Rudolf Virchow saw 1855. He said a cell always arises from a pre-existing cell. No cell can come its own. Putting both these points together, we say that cell is the structural and functional unit of life. That is, cells makes our body, and whatever we are capable of. If I show movement, it is because of the cell. If I can blow air, it is because of the cell. If I am speaking, it is because of the cell. If I am holding something, it is because of the cells. So everything which we are capable of doing, that is because of the cells. कितनी बड़ी बात कह दी. इसको थोड़ा और इम्प्रूव कर दिया और उनको कह दिया भैया cells are the fundamental unit, because without cell you cannot have anything. No living beings can be there without which do not have even a cell. चलो आगे देखते हैं कैसे हेरार्की ऑफ लिविंग बीइंग्स. हेरार्की मतलब कहाँ से शुरू हो रहा है, कहाँ पे खत्म हो रहा है. देखिए आपके सामने ये एक ऑर्गेनिज्म है. क्या है? यू कैन टेक एन ऑर्गेनिज्म एज अ प्लांट, और यू कैन टेक एन ऑर्गेनिज्म लाइक ए एनिमल, लाइक एक एग्जांपल ले लिया डॉग. ठीक है. देयर आर नंबर ऑफ ऑर्गेनिजम्स. इवन वी आर ऑर्गेनिजम्स. ठीक है. व्हाट आवर बॉडी इज मेड अप ऑफ? आवर बॉडी इज मेड अप ऑफ नंबर ऑफ ऑर्गन सिस्टम. respiratory system, digestive system, sensory system, protective system, and reproductive system, and then many other systems are there. So our body is made up of organ system. If you look the respiratory system, the respiratory system is made up of nostrils and nasal tract and pharynx and trachea and bronchi and bronchial, lungs and alveoli. These all makes organs. And then organs are made up of tissues. There are various type of tissues. Next chapter is on tissues, we will study. Okay. And then tissues are made up of cells. Cell can be one or cell can be many. Cells are made up of cell organelle. Cell organelle are made up of molecules, and molecules are made up of atoms, and atoms are made up of subatomic particles. Subatomic particle like proton, neutron, electron, etc. etc. तो हमारे पास ये चीज है, organ system, organ, tissue, cells, cell organelle, molecules, atoms. फर्दर नीचे देखेंगे. Do we have any organism made up of organ system? Yes, of course. We got several organs which are made up of like dog, neem plants, etc. They are having organ system. Organs हैं, हाँ है, बहुत सारे ऐसे जिनकी बॉडी में organ तो है, but the organ systems are not formed. Like tapeworm, they got organs but not organ system. We got organisms which have got tissues even, but that organs are not formed. Like Hydra, sea animal. Their body have got tissues, but they don't have even organs. Organ system to bhul hi jao. We got several organisms in which the cells are there. Amoeba, paramecium, sponges and all. And maybe amoeba and paramecium, they have got only one cell. Their body is made up of only one cell. Do we have any organism made up of cell organelle? No. No organism we found till date in which the body is made up of only mitochondria, Golgi body, ribosome, nucleus, etc. etc. No. We don't have. To make minimum a living being, what we require? A cell. छोटा से छोटा यूनिट सेल का लिविंग बीइंग का क्या होना चाहिए? इट इज सेल. बॉडी कैन नॉट बी मेड अप ऑफ सेल ऑर्गेनेल. एंड मॉलिक्यूल्स का तो भूल ही जाओ, एंड एटम्स का तो सवाल ही नहीं, और सब एटॉमिक पार्टिकल्स तो जान ही नहीं सकते. So minimum or the smallest unit which can comprise, which can make a living being is cell, and that is why we call cell as a fundamental unit of life. That thus you can see that organism is made up of minimum of a cell. You cannot see an organism made up of smaller than a cell, anything smaller than a cell, and that is why cell is known as a fundamental unit of life. Chapter का मतलब समझ गए? I think it is clear to you. Okay, composition of cell. What is cell made up of? So cell may be made up of many things. A nucleus, mitochondria, Golgi body, ribosome, centrosome, this and that. Okay, a cell is a complex machine consisting of several organelle. Depending on the complexity of the cell, there are two kinds of cell. एक prokaryotic जिसमें nucleus भी नहीं होता. Prokaryotic cells are those which do not have even nucleus, no mitochondria, no Golgi body, no endoplasmic reticulum, no Golgi bodies, no vacuoles, no lysosomes. What they have got is only ribosomes and centrosome. ठीक है? तो ऐसे सेल्स को हम क्या कहेंगे? प्रोकैरियोटिक, मतलब न्यूक्लियस बनने के भी पहले वाली सेल्स. एंड यूकैरियोटिक आर द एडवांस सेल्स, मच डेवलप्ड सेल, दोज हु हैव गॉट nucleus at least present in some stage. Mitochondria will always have. Plastid may or may not be there. If they are photosynthetic, they have plastid. Endoplasmic reticulum होगा ही होगा. Golgi body होगा ही होगा. Vacuoles may be there. Lysosomes may be there. Ribosomes, centrosome होंगे, because they are even found in there. So there are. So prokaryotic cell are those in which lacks a well-defined nucleus and other membrane-bounded organelle. And eukaryotic cell have these things as per their need. So these are the compositions. चलिए बात करते हैं. ये हो गया हमारा आज का टॉपिक, छोटा सा टॉपिक. तो thank you for watching, and the next video you will see its continuation. This was the part 1. So if you like the video, give it a like, thumbs up. Okay, share it with others. कोई तो होगा 9th क्लास का, तो उनके साथ शेयर कर सकते हैं. Subscribe the channel if you are coming first time on my channel. Subscribe it. If you are already there, well and good. Those who are subscribed and do find that there are some students of class 9th, just share it with them and press the bell icon so that you will get my information about next videos. तो इतना करने के लिए आपको एक पैसा भी नहीं देना, पूरे वीडियो देखने के लिए पैसा नहीं देना पड़ा, इनके लिए कौन सा पैसा देना पड़ा. दे आर फ्रीली अवेलेबल. ओनली आई एम इन्वेस्टिंग माई टाइम, माई many other things. But you need not to do anything. Don't worry, kabhi bhi koi kuch nahi magega. It will always be free. But give it a like, share, and if you got any doubt, you can ask me, and your queries will be answered. And if you want any sort of improvement, you can definitely tell me. That's all in this video. Thank you. Keep watching.